Good afternoon. It's me, Josh Hunter. I hope that your day is going well. I'm here on the planet Earth. I actually don't even have even a single topic in mind. I just, I want some. I like to have I like to have an example of my, just kind of casual persona. So, because I mean, sometimes, like for example, like I want this to be like, because when you're hanging out with people, you don't always there isn't always conversation. There isn't always like something to talk about, and sometimes like from what I've heard, like that's what. Anyway, so I want this to be a good example because I don't know. I don't consider myself like a particularly good conversationalist because everything that I say is kind of laced, meaning like I don't have ulterior motives, but well, I don't know what ulterior means. So, I don't have any hidden motives. So I'm, when I'm speaking, like everything that I'm doing is geared towards one specific thing, whether you believe me or not. And you don't have to, and I don't know why you would anyway. I mean, because you hear me speak. So what this is, normally there is some type of theme, but I'm just going to speak upon things randomly as they come. Well, it's not random. I don't. I'm going to give you a little. Anyway, some questions. Some questions you might have for me. You might say, Josh, why don't you have a driver's license? Why don't you ever drive cars? Like, what's that all about? Well, thank you for asking. First of all, second of all, I did bring this up, but the automobile has not been perfected. The technology is incomplete. The fact that there are thousands of crashes every year tells me that, oh, you guys have not finished designing this. If you built a computer or some type of medical device or anything that you need to use that needs to work, and as well as the environment in which you use it needs to be stabilized, you would not accept it if you were getting like, maybe 60% non-accident rate. Or 60% rate of non-accident. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know what the actual numbers are on that, but there are so many car accidents. It makes me think. And then you start designing self-designing cars, which is like, all right, you can't drive it, so you're going to install a machine that does it better than you can. I don't know about that. Anyway, so I think it would be better if you simply trained people to build lives where everything that they needed was nearby. The idea of a car implies that the things that you need are far away, and if the things that you need are far away, you're going to constantly be reaching for something, grasping for something. And you can't ever really be content if everything's always far away. But if everything you need is nearby, so how do you build a life where everything that you need is nearby? You could be a homeless person. I mean. How about this? I don't really like these non-themed videos. Okay, I gotta stabilize this. I'm gonna bring up a jutsu. It's been a while. All right, this jutsu I didn't want to. It's not like top notch. I mean, compared to my other jutsu, but this. It's inspired by a lyric from a rap song. I don't know who sang it. I don't know the title of the song. Oh wait, it's that song. It's like living like a rock star. That song or whatever. So anyway, this jutsu is for when when someone's gonna try and fight you and you really do not want to fight. So. I'm waiting for it to clear. And I'm not talking about like like a fist, or I'm not talking about like whatever kind of fight you find to be like unacceptable. All right, so the jutsu is called I know I am not hard, no jutsu. You know that song is like living like a rock star. I know I am not hard, you know. So anyway, it's when you want to flee a fight with dignity. Because sometimes a lot of these guys are out here. They think they can fight. They think they're tough. They think they can stand up to anything. And the only kind of person who thinks they're tough is a person who's never been in like the worst fight of their life. You've never been in a fight where you had challenged the core of your identity. And so when you realize that you are approaching a fight that is beyond your ability to a fight that you could, whether you won or lost, you would be so devoid of dignity or honor after the fight that it would have been best if you had never fought in the first place. So, this jutsu is intended for you to, when you see the fight, when you know that it's there, that it's on its way, and you say, I don't want to do this fight, you say, I know I am not hard, no jutsu. And so it's a type of humility. It's like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna bow. All right, you know, because you know something about me that you perhaps are not aware of. I do not have pride. I'm not a proud person. Just because I like myself a lot does not mean that I am proud. I gotta know when to fold them. That could be an alternate. Know when to fold them, no. Know when to fold them, no. Slime Square, Times Square slime. All right, could I do that? Know when to fold them, no jutsu. That flows better. Let's see. Know when to fold them, no jutsu. Know when to fold them, no jutsu. Know when to fold them, no jutsu. Ooh, that's good. All right. Since that, like, I literally. Okay, so you can say, I know I am not hard, no jutsu, or if you prefer, maybe it depends on the fight. No. No one to hold him, no jutsu. Yeah. Because that would go beyond, you know, fighting, because that includes fighting, because it's the whole idea of avoiding, okay, let's do both. Okay, the first one would be specifically to avoid a fight. This one would be to avoid situations that are particularly, you know, within the realm of gambling. Not within the group. To avoid situations that are particularly unwise. You know, situations that do not contain a great deal of wisdom, or it would be unwise to go towards. So, let's see. No one to fold him, no jutsu. Man, that's the cadence. Staccato. What's that? Is that? No one to fold them, no jutsu. Ooh, that's nice. That is nice. Okay, so when you want to avoid a fight, I know I am not hard, no jutsu. When you want to avoid a situation, or when you want to know when to bow out, when to leave, you know, when to stop doing something which is particularly risky, know when to fold them, no jutsu. And I wouldn't say that these are interchangeable, but you know, you have to develop it. You have to put it in, you know, a way that means something to you. Everything that I give you is meant, or everything that I provide here, it will remain mine until you make it your own. So if I give you a jutsu and then you go out and use it, but you haven't made it your own, then I'm just loaning you. You know, kind of like, but once you might say, how do I make it my own? How do you make anything your own? Let's see. Like, for example, when they do a remake or a reboot of a series, sometimes they just, for example, did you see that movie, Sin City? I'm not criticizing the movie. I'm not criticizing, you know, but when that film, it was adapted from the comic book, Sin City, written by Frank Miller. Also, Frank Miller, wonderful writer. Batman Year One is probably my favorite, my favorite comic book. I've been reading it since I was like, you know, 8 or 9. Like, because it's absurd. Because all the origin stories, like when Batman's first starting out, he's like always like this shit. Like right out the gate, he's like, oh, I'm Batman, and there's nothing. This one, like, he starts out in like sweatpants. He's like fighting crime in sweatpants, and he's like just you know. Anyway, am I bad? Sorry. All right. Anyway, that could be. All right. First of all, let me say it's not my intent to insult anyone. I don't want to. I do not want to insult anyone. I don't want to make anyone feel as though I'm diminishing, you know, their life or making their life seem, you know, less than what it is. I am not mocking, like I said, and have said many times. Sometimes I'm dealing with a great deal of energy which cannot be readily identified, and so you know, sometimes I say things in a certain way to smooth things along, and you know, and you have a choice. You want to get upset? That's on you. Okay, you know how many people are talking shit about me every day, and and nobody even knows me. I mean, all right, there are people who know me, but they're not talking. I mean, all the people. All right, it's just rambling. I like to have a focus. Let me find a circle. Let's see. I always like to go, you know, I always like to, because this is like just a streaming thing. It's not streaming, but let's call it Anyway, so, you know, you have a brain, I'm assuming, and so it's up to you to use it. And if a brain is a muscle, then you can make that muscle, because when you're working on your body, right, when you're like a weightlifter or something, you know, you focus on certain parts to define. Well, your mind is, they say, is a muscle, so you can define certain parts, not to the point of rigidity. Flexibility is always designed. In fact, I read somewhere, I think elasticity is the key to maintaining a healthy brain, which means your thoughts cannot remain so rigid or inflexible. I think maybe if you learn how to keep your brain elastic, you might have better memory, as well as other things. All right, I hope you're not scared. All right. Well, I guess that's. It's been getting quieter. It has been getting less and less loud every day. Like for the last 3, perhaps 8 days. Last 3 to 5 days. Last 3 or 5 days, it has been getting much and much less loud. And I'm very grateful for things becoming less loud. And I like it. I like things not being loud. It makes me feel good, peaceful, serene, even. Thank you.